Good morning, Victoria. As you know, I'm away Monday to Thursday, so I'm having to make this video now. So as you've seen from the title, it says don't watch until Tuesday, but really it's actually Sunday night. So hi from Sunday. Today I want to have some quick thoughts about why I think sci-fi is important and relevant in a sort of semi-response to watching Star Trek yesterday. So I'm a big fan of Star Trek, Star Wars, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sci-fi is probably one of my favourite genres, if not my favourite genre. The reason for this is quite subtle and personal, and frankly that's a boring thing to talk about, why I like sci-fi. Instead I want to talk about why I think sci-fi is important. So firstly, I think it is a way of exploring the implications of new technologies while they're still currently at the bleeding edge. You let a sci-fi writer go mad thinking of all the implications, like in Star Trek there's the eugenics war, which arises from the creation of enhanced human beings. This is actually referenced in the new Star Trek film. Spoilers, sorry. I'm not saying how. So that's an example of genetic engineering leading to potentially conflict. And there's quite a few other examples, although I can't think of many off the top of my head. There's that. Secondly, I think that sci-fi, because it's fiction, but it has a grounded internal logic that can often subtly reflect the world, especially if it's near future science fiction. It has a level of realism that can act as both as a warning to the reader, but also it means that the characters and actions are very much things that we can relate to, much more than a fantasy novel where it's about dragons. If you're talking about spaceships, somehow that feels a little more tangible because we do currently have spaceships, but we don't have warp technology yet, for instance. Finally, I think the sort of person that says, I don't like science fiction, I think they haven't found their kind of science fiction yet. It's such a broad genre. To assume that science fiction is just manned space missions to the outer moons of Jupiter, that's not really what science fiction is about, really. Science fiction is about technologies and about taking our reality and pushing it just slightly off kilter. Science fiction probably has a lot in common with the other in some horror. In fact, that things are just that one step away from reality, as opposed to fantasy where it's about 3 times over from reality. So yes, those are a few of my thoughts about science fiction. They're not particularly profound and they're not particularly well thought out, but I thought it might be an interesting thing to do. And yes, Star Trek was okay. It wasn't the best film I've seen recently. That's because the best film I've seen recently was Iron Man 3. Again, science fiction. But it was a good film, and Benedict Cumberbatch was a joy to watch playing a mad, crazed space terrorist, so that was fun, yeah. Anyway, Victoria, I will see you on Friday. And yes, Star Wars was okay.